Hello everybody, this is Captain Jirwa bringing you another narrated Pokemon Online battle. I've got a new team preview thing as you can see there, so that's pretty cool. But anyway though, this is a team that I made just to feature a Regice, which is Rest Sleep Talk with Charge Beam and Ice Beam, and it is actually very good, especially if the opponent doesn't have an Emboar. Yeah, and Tangela and Haunter are there to take the fighting hits, and Kadabra's there as a revenge killer, kind of, and Floatzel's there for priority, and Golem's just there for rocks. And on my opponent's team, his biggest threat is that Bisharp, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. But yeah, anyway, let's just get right into it. I'm going to lead off with my Kadabra, because I was predicting him to lead off with the Rosalia to get up his hazards, and I did not want that to happen. But he ends up leading off with his Zebstrika, and I thought he wouldn't be predicting too early in the match, so I go into my Golem, and he does predict that though. But since it didn't bring me down to Sturdy, I'm pretty sure it's HP Ice, so that's going to be very valuable information to keep in mind for later, because I know that this is not going to be as threatening to Golem as it could be. So I'm going to bring in Floatzel on Good Bite, and the set I run is usually a bulky one, but I'm not quite sure what he's running, so I'm just going to go into Tangela, but he does predict that very nicely, but it doesn't even matter, because I've got Regice, and Regice can take all those hits for days. You just fire off some powerful Ice Beams. I am Modest Max Special Attack, also with max HP to take hits better, but it doesn't even need Special Defense or Defense HP, man. It is so bulky. But yeah, Tangela basically just can shut this Bisharp down, especially since I have HP Fire. But he does have Rosalia, and that does nothing, man. Jeez, that thing is bulky. I go into Kadabra just to threaten him out. He probably could have lived the Psychic and gotten another layer up, but I guess he didn't want to lose too much HP. And if he did get 2 layers up, my Tangela would basically be crippled. So it also is going to be slightly crippled, though, because 1 layer is still kind of bad for it, especially since it doesn't have recovery. But anyway, I go into Golem since I was pretty sure he wouldn't predict me to bring it in twice, since he did show me that he predicted it last time. So yeah, anyway, gonna go back into Regice on Weezing, because since he doesn't have rocks up, I can basically bring this thing in like a lot. Anyway, he goes into Zebstrika, and I know the reason he brought this in is to overheat me, so I go for the rest, and I take that like a monster and rest it off, which is really awesome. Like, oh my gosh, like what kind of piece of ice can withstand a huge blast of fire like that? Like, I mean, come on now. Anyway, though, he switches into Bisharp to threaten me with either the Brick Break or Iron Head. So I just go into Tangela, because as I said before, this is the best counter for this thing. I'm going to go for Sleep Powder, predicting the Rosalia to come in, and I do nail it on the switch, which is very, very good. And I think I probably could have gone into Haunter there. I'm not sure if I could 2-hit KO him or not, but I do go into Kadabra, go for the HP Fire predicting Bisharp, and at this point, I know another HP Fire can finish him off, and since I do have the Sash, I can live any hit, so basically I can just make something die right here, and I go for HP Fighting, predicting him to bring in the Bisharp again, which he does do, and I do kill it, which is great, because that thing was the #1 threat to my Regice. So now it looks like Regice is going to have basically some initiative against his team. So I do bring that in now, and I do Sleep Talk the Ice Beam to finish off that Zebstrika. I don't think that really mattered too much, because 2 overheats wouldn't have killed me, and I could have rested it off. So yeah, anyway, brings in Good Bite, trying to hit me on my weaker defense side, and based on that damage, that probably was Home Claws, but anyway, I just Ocone with an Ice Beam, so yeah. And this is at the point of the match, I was pretty sure I'd won at this point, but he shows me Encore with Kadabra, and I'm like, crap. This thing just became a ginormous threat, because he can shut down my Regice's Rest Sleep Talk combo, which basically means that if if I want to get a rest off, I have to switch out, and if I want to get a hit off, I would have to not use Sleep Talk, and yeah. So anyway, though, I basically am forced to go for the rest now, because I could have taken another one, but I wouldn't have killed him, I'm pretty sure, and I would have been forced to rest instead of the Toxic Spikes, but here I'm not going for the Sleep Talk, because I know if he brings in Kadabra, he can just Encore me into that. So what I need to do basically is I just need to keep resting off and then switching out into something so I can bring this thing back in. Because I'm pretty sure, based on that psychic damage, that I can take more than 3 psychics and basically just wake up and get a hit off. But if he gets a special defense drop or a crit, I have to switch out again. And the more I keep switching out, the more Pokemon I'll end up losing to this Kadabra. And I end up bringing in Floatzel here and going for the Crunch just to, because I think I can outspeed him, or even if I don't, I could probably live a Psychic. But yeah, anyway, I just bring in Regice again, and he does get a crit, which really, really sucks. So instead of getting a hit off, I have to rest off because, like, oh man, I can take 4, but yeah. Anyway, though, I have to switch out because he has Encore. And I'm actually surprised he's not predicting at all there, because if he had went for the Psychic there, I think probably would have just straight up lost, because the less Pokemon I have, the more initiative this Kadabra does have. But yeah, I did try to win the speed tie there, as you can see, but I don't. But yeah, anyway, I do eventually wake up and kill him with the Ice Beam. So that was very interesting, because I was up, and then he brought me back down to 1 Pokemon before I could kill his last. So yeah, that was a great battle. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, but otherwise I'm out of here. Peace.